You wake up at 3 in the morning, and no matter how hard you try, sleep just won't come back. And the next day, you walk into the kitchen and forget why you're standing there. You blank on a name you've known for 30 years, and a small, quiet voice in your head whispers, "Is this just what getting older looks like now?" Here's something most people over 60 have never been told. That broken sleep and that foggy memory might be more connected than you ever imagined. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why. And more importantly, what you can actually do about it starting tonight. Let's talk about Linda for a second. Linda is 67, sharp as a tack, loves her crossword puzzles, used to run a small bakery for almost 30 years. But over the last couple of years, she noticed something changing. She'd read a page of her favorite mystery novel and realized she had no idea what just happened. She'd walk into a room and forget what she came for. She figured it was just senior moments, something to laugh off with her friends over coffee. But what Linda didn't realize, what so many people her age don't realize, is that she was only getting about 4 hours of deep restorative sleep a night. And that gap, that missing piece, was quietly affecting her memory far more than she ever guessed. Here's the thing nobody really explains to us clearly. Sleep isn't just rest. It's not simply your body taking a break so you can recharge like a phone on a charger. While you sleep, your brain is doing something remarkable. It's sorting through the events of your day, deciding what to keep and what to let go of, and literally moving important memories from short-term storage into long-term storage. Scientists sometimes compare it to a librarian working through the night, taking all the books that got tossed onto the desk during the day and carefully filing them onto the right shelves so you can find them later. If that librarian doesn't get enough hours to do her job, guess what happens? Things get lost, misplaced, harder to find the next day. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, and this is something most people have genuinely never heard before. During deep sleep, your brain also goes through a kind of nightly cleaning process. Researchers have found that when you're in your deepest stages of sleep, the fluid around your brain cells actually flows more freely, helping to clear away waste products that build up during the day from normal brain activity. Think of it like a tide going out and washing the debris off the beach. This cleaning process seems to happen mostly during deep sleep, which unfortunately is exactly the type of sleep that tends to shrink as we get older. And that's not a flaw in you. That's simply a natural part of how sleep architecture changes with age. But, and this is the part that should give you hope, not fear, there is a lot you can do to protect and even improve the quality of that deep sleep no matter your age. We're going to get into exactly how in just a moment. But first, let's talk about why sleep tends to get lighter and more fragmented after 60 in the first place. Because understanding the why makes the what to do so much easier to actually follow. As we age, our body's production of certain natural sleep-regulating signals shifts. Our internal body clock, the one that tells us when to feel sleepy and when to feel alert, can become less precise. That's part of why so many people find themselves getting tired earlier in the evening, then waking up earlier than they used to, sometimes wide awake at 4 or 5 in the morning even though they feel like they haven't slept enough. On top of that, other common age-related changes, like needing to use the bathroom more at night, joint discomfort, or simply lighter sleep overall, can chip away at those precious deep sleep hours. Here's a curiosity gap for you, because I want you to keep watching for this. There's actually a very specific window of time in the evening that has a huge impact on how deep your sleep will be later that night, and almost nobody talks about it. Most people focus only on what happens right before bed, but researchers have found that what you do in the 2 to 3 hours before that matters just as much, sometimes more. I'm going to walk you through exactly what that window is and how to use it in the second part of this video, so stay with me. For now, let's talk about what deep sleep actually does for your memory in very practical, everyday terms, because this isn't just about remembering trivia or acing a crossword puzzle. This is about the memories that matter to you, remembering your grandchild's birthday without needing to check your phone 5 times, remembering where you put your keys before you're already 10 minutes late, remembering the punchline of the joke your best friend just told you so you can laugh at the right moment instead of a beat too late. Research suggests that consistent, quality sleep supports the brain's ability to consolidate these everyday memories, turning fleeting moments into things you can actually hold on to and recall with ease. And here's something empowering that I want you to really sit with. Your brain has what scientists call neuroplasticity, the ability to adapt, reorganize, and even strengthen certain connections throughout your entire life, not just when you're young. This means it's genuinely never too late to support your brain health through better sleep habits. You are not stuck. You are not simply declining with no say in the matter. Small, consistent changes to your sleep routine can genuinely make a meaningful difference in how sharp, clear, and present you feel day to day. I've seen it happen, and research in sleep science backs this up again and again. Now, before we move into the specific practical habits that can help you sleep deeper and protect your memory, the exact evening window I mentioned, the surprising role of morning light, the one-bedroom habit almost everyone gets wrong, I want you to think about this. How many nights this past month would you say you actually woke up feeling refreshed, not groggy, not needing 3 cups of coffee just to feel human? If the honest answer is not many, you are absolutely not alone. And more importantly, you are in exactly the right place. Because what we're about to cover in the next part of this video is designed specifically to help change that. Let's pick up right where we left off. Because I promised you that mysterious window of time in the evening that has such a big impact on your deep sleep. And it's simpler than you might think. But the timing really does matter. That window is roughly the 2 to 3 hours before you actually go to bed. This is when your body is naturally supposed to start winding down, when your internal temperature is supposed to begin dropping slightly, and when your natural sleep signals are supposed to start building up. The problem is, for so many of us, this is exactly the time we're doing the opposite. Bright screens, stressful news, a big heavy meal, maybe a strong cup of tea or coffee, just to relax a little. Every one of these things can quietly work against your body's natural wind-down process without you even realizing it. Let's start with light, because this might be the single most underrated habit for both sleep and memory. Your body has an internal clock, and one of the biggest signals it uses to set that clock is light exposure, especially in the morning. Getting outside within the first hour or two after waking, even just sitting on your porch with your coffee or taking a short walk around the block, helps tell your brain, okay, the day has started. Time to be alert. This, in turn, helps your body know when it should start producing the natural signals for sleepiness later that evening. Experts often point out that this simple habit of morning light exposure can help regulate your sleep-wake cycle more effectively than almost any evening routine change alone. So here's a simple, doable habit. Tomorrow morning, step outside for just 10 to 15 minutes, no sunglasses if you can manage it safely, and just let your eyes take in that natural daylight. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but this one habit alone has helped so many people feel sleepier at the right time and more alert during the day. Now let's talk about that evening window again, because this is where the real magic happens for deep sleep. In the 2 to 3 hours before bed, try to dim the lights in your home. Not pitch dark, just softer, warmer lighting instead of bright overhead lights. This mimics the natural dimming of daylight and helps your body start producing its natural sleep signals right on schedule. If you love watching TV or scrolling through your tablet in the evening, that's okay. You don't have to give up everything you enjoy. But try to reduce the brightness on your screens and, if possible, wrap up screen time about 30 to 45 minutes before you actually go to bed. This gives your brain a little runway to start settling down instead of staying revved up right until the moment your head hits the pillow. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. What you eat and drink in the evening matters more than most of us were ever told. A heavy, rich meal late at night can leave your body busy with digestion when it should be winding down for rest, and that can lead to more fragmented sleep. On the other hand, a light snack a couple hours before bed, something like a banana, a small handful of almonds, or a warm cup of caffeine-free herbal tea like chamomile, may actually support relaxation and help ease you into sleep more smoothly. And of course, cutting back on caffeine after early afternoon is one of the simplest changes you can make, since caffeine can linger in your system far longer than most people realize, sometimes affecting sleep quality even 6 to 8 hours after that afternoon cup of coffee. Let's talk about your bedroom for a moment, because I promised you the one habit almost everyone gets wrong. And here it is, temperature. So many people focus on having a dark, quiet room, which is important, but they completely overlook temperature. Your body actually needs to cool down slightly to fall into deep sleep, and a room that's too warm can work directly against that natural process. Experts generally suggest keeping your bedroom on the cooler side, comfortably cool, not cold, as one of the most effective, simple changes for improving sleep depth. If you've been cranking the heat up at night because you feel chilly, try adding an extra blanket instead and lowering the room temperature a bit. It's a small tweak, but so many people report noticeably better, deeper sleep once they make this change. Now, here's a curiosity gap I want to leave you with before we move into the final part of this video. There's a specific type of gentle movement, something almost anyone can do regardless of mobility level, that has been shown to support both better sleep and sharper memory. And it's not what most people expect. It's not intense exercise. It's not something that requires a gym membership or special equipment. I'm going to share exactly what it is, along with a few more simple daily habits that tie sleep and memory together in a way that most seniors have never been told, in the final part of this video. But before we get there, let's touch on something important: worry and racing thoughts at bedtime. So many people lie down at night, and that's exactly when their mind decides to replay every conversation from the day, every unfinished task, every worry about tomorrow. This is incredibly common, and it's not a sign of weakness or failure. It's simply what happens when the mind doesn't have a designated time earlier in the day to process those thoughts. One simple, practical habit that many people find helpful is spending just 5 to 10 minutes in the early evening writing down anything that's on your mind. A quick, simple list of tomorrow's tasks, or even just a sentence or two about how your day went. This small act of closing the loop on your day can help quiet that mental chatter once you actually lie down to sleep, because your mind isn't scrambling to hold on to those thoughts anymore. It already wrote them down somewhere safe. Stick with me, because in the final part of this video, we're going to bring everything together. The movement habit I mentioned, a few more surprisingly simple daily choices that support both your sleep and your memory, and how to build all of this into a routine that actually feels doable, not overwhelming, for real life. All right, let's get to that gentle movement habit I promised you, because this one genuinely surprises people. It's simply a short walk, ideally earlier in the day rather than right before bed. Research suggests that regular moderate movement, even something as simple as a 20 to 30-minute walk most days of the week, can support deeper, more restorative sleep at night. Doesn't need to be intense. It doesn't need to leave you exhausted. In fact, vigorous exercise too close to bedtime can sometimes make it harder to wind down, so earlier in the day tends to work best for most people. And here's the beautiful part. That same daily movement that supports better sleep also supports healthy blood flow to the brain, which many experts believe plays a supportive role in maintaining memory and mental sharpness as we age. So a simple morning or afternoon walk isn't just good for your legs and your heart. It may genuinely be doing double duty for your brain and your sleep, all at the same time. Let's talk about something else that ties directly into this. And it's one of those habits that feels almost too simple to matter, but the research really does support it: staying mentally and socially engaged during the day. Think about it this way. Your brain, much like your body, thrives on being used in varied, meaningful ways. Calling a friend, playing a board game with your grandkids, learning a new recipe, working on a puzzle, even having a good, engaging conversation over lunch. All of these activities give your brain a healthy workout during the day. And a brain that's been meaningfully engaged during waking hours often settles into sleep more naturally at night, because it's had the stimulation it needs and isn't left restless or understimulated. This is part of why so many experts encourage staying socially connected and mentally active as we get older. Not just for the joy of it, though that matters enormously too, but because it appears to support both healthy sleep patterns and long-term brain health. Now, let's bring this all together into something you can actually use, starting tonight, without feeling like you need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Here's a simple, realistic routine you might consider. In the morning, try to get some natural light within the first hour or two of waking, even just standing by a window or stepping outside briefly. Sometime during the day, aim for a short walk, even if it's broken into 2 10-minute strolls rather than one long one, whatever feels doable and sustainable for you. In the early evening, spend a few quiet minutes writing down anything on your mind, closing that mental loop so it doesn't follow you to bed. About 2 to 3 hours before you plan to sleep, start dimming the lights around your home, easing up on screens, and skipping any heavy meals or caffeine. And when you finally head to bed, Make sure your room is on the cooler side, as dark and quiet as you can reasonably make it. None of these habits require special equipment. None of them require giving up your favorite foods entirely or turning your whole schedule upside down. They're small, gentle shifts, the kind you can start with just one tonight, and add another tomorrow and another the night after that, building this routine gradually rather than trying to do everything at once. That's honestly the most sustainable way to make real change stick, especially when it comes to something as personal and habitual as sleep. I want to go back to Linda for a moment, because I think her story is worth finishing. Once she started understanding the connection between her sleep and her memory, she didn't try to change everything overnight. She started with just one thing. She began stepping out onto her porch every morning with her coffee instead of drinking it inside with the blinds closed. Within a couple of weeks, she noticed she was falling asleep a little easier at night. Then she added the cooler bedroom temperature. Then the short evening walk. Slowly, over the course of about 2 months, she noticed something she hadn't felt in years. She was reading her mystery novels again and actually remembering the plot from one page to the next. She wasn't walking into rooms and forgetting why she was there nearly as often. And most importantly, she felt like herself again, sharp, present, and confident in her own mind. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've covered today. Your sleep and your memory are deeply connected, and that connection doesn't have to work against you as you get older. The natural changes in sleep that come with age are real, but they are not a life sentence, and they are absolutely not something you have no control over. Getting morning light, moving your body earlier in the day, easing into a calm and dim evening routine, keeping your bedroom cool, and giving your mind a little closure before bed. These are small, gentle, completely doable habits that research suggests can genuinely support both deeper sleep and a sharper, more reliable memory over time. You don't need to change everything today. You just need to start with one habit, be consistent, and let it build from there. I genuinely love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me which of these habits you're going to try first, or if you've already noticed a connection between your own sleep and your memory. Your experience might be exactly what someone else watching this needs to hear today. If this video gave you even one useful idea, please consider sharing it with a friend or family member who might benefit from it too, because so many people are quietly struggling with this exact issue and don't even realize there's something they can do about it. And if you'd like more simple, honest, science-based tips for healthy aging, staying sharp, and feeling your best in the years ahead, go ahead and subscribe, because we've got so much more valuable content coming your way. Here's to deeper sleep, sharper memories, and feeling truly like yourself again, starting tonight.